In the vast landscape of horror cinema, sequels often represent the industry's most cynical impulses, cash-grabbing exercises that exploit audience goodwill toward an original property while delivering diminishing returns in quality, creativity, and scares. The Wrong Turn franchise, which began with Rob Schmidt's 2003 Appalachian horror film, initially seemed destined for this exact trajectory. The original film, while commercially successful, had been met with mixed critical reception. Its tale of inbred cannibals terrorizing stranded travelers, feeling derivative of better-regarded predecessors like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Deliverance. By all reasonable expectations, Wrong Turn 2, Dead End, should have been a perfunctory, forgettable sequel churned out by a studio looking to capitalize on the first film's modest success. Yet what emerged in 2007 was something genuinely unexpected. A sequel that not only improved upon its predecessor but established itself as arguably the finest entry in the entire franchise. Directed by Joe Lynch in his feature debut and written by Turi Meyer and Al Septien, Wrong Turn 2, Dead End, represents a remarkable alchemy of horror tropes, self-aware humor, genuine tension, and surprisingly effective character work. It is a film that understands the mechanics of slasher cinema intimately while simultaneously deconstructing them. A reality show parody that functions as both savage entertainment and pointed cultural commentary. The film's journey to its cult classic status is as fascinating as the narrative it presents. An international co-production between Summit Entertainment, United States, and Constantine Film, Germany, the production brought together a diverse cast of performers at various career stages. From punk rock icon Henry Rollins, making one of his most memorable screen appearances, to a supporting cast of genre veterans and fresh faces, the ensemble brought credibility and commitment to material that could have easily been treated with dismissive irony. This comprehensive analysis will explore every facet of Wrong Turn 2, Dead End, in exhaustive detail, examining its narrative structure, thematic concerns, production history, cultural impact, and lasting legacy within the horror genre. We will investigate how a modestly budgeted straight-to-DVD sequel managed to become the best-reviewed film in its franchise, earning a 70% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and winning the Best Direct-to-Video Film Award at the Gerardmer Film Festival. We will analyze the film's clever subversion of reality television tropes, its complex treatment of survivalism, its effective blend of horror and humor, and the sophisticated filmmaking techniques employed by first-time director Joe Lynch. Through this extensive examination, we will argue that Wrong Turn 2, Dead End stands as a significant work in early 21st century horror cinema, a film that successfully navigates the treacherous waters of franchise filmmaking while maintaining a distinctive voice and vision. It is a movie that rewards repeated viewings, revealing new layers of meaning and appreciation each time, and it deserves serious consideration as one of the most underappreciated horror films of its era. Part 1. The Evolution of a Franchise 1.1 Origins, Wrong Turn 2003. To fully appreciate Wrong Turn 2, Dead End, one must understand the context from which it emerged. The original Wrong Turn, directed by Rob Schmidt and released in 2003, arrived at a fascinating moment in horror history. The genre was experiencing a renaissance of sorts, with the success of films like Scream, 1996, having revitalized the slasher subgenre, while The Blair Witch Project, 1999, had demonstrated the commercial potential of found footage horror. Meanwhile, the early 2000s saw a resurgence of interest in what might be termed hillbilly horror or backwoods terror, with films like Jeepers Creepers, 2001, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, 2003, exploring the terror of rural America. Wrong Turn told the story of Chris Flynn, Desmond Harrington, a medical student who becomes lost in the West Virginia wilderness after taking a detour to avoid a traffic jam. Along with a group of other stranded travelers, Chris encounters a family of cannibalistic mountain men, deformed products of inbreeding and environmental contamination who hunt humans for food and sport. The film was notable for its practical effects, courtesy of Stan Winston Studios, its grisly kill sequences, and its commitment to a grim, hopeless tone that distinguished it from more self-aware horror films of the era. The original film's critical reception was mixed but generally positive. Critics praised its craftsmanship and intensity while noting its derivative nature. The film holds a 40% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, with the consensus reading. Wrong Turn is a standard backwoods slasher that relies on old cliches. However, audiences responded more enthusiastically, with the film grossing over $28 million on a $12.6 million budget. This commercial success ensured that a sequel would eventually materialize, though the 4-year gap between films suggested a lack of urgency on the studio's part. The extended gap between films ultimately proved beneficial. It allowed time for the cultural landscape to shift, providing the sequel with new sources of inspiration and satire. By 2007, reality television had become an inescapable cultural force, with shows like Survivor, The Amazing Race, and the various iterations of Big Brother dominating ratings and shaping public discourse. The idea of a reality competition show becoming the backdrop for a cannibalistic massacre was ripe for exploration, and the sequel's writers seized upon this concept with evident enthusiasm. 1.2 Director Joe Lynch, a horror fan's vision. The selection of Joe Lynch to direct Wrong Turn 2 proved to be the film's most inspired creative decision. Lynch, a self-described horror obsessive, had built his reputation as a music video director before transitioning to features. His passion for the genre was evident in every frame of the finished film. Wrong Turn 2 feels less like a studio-mandated sequel and more like a love letter to the horror films that shaped Lynch's cinematic sensibilities. Lynch's approach to the material was defined by several key principles. First, he refused to treat the subject matter with undue solemnity. The original Wrong Turn had played its premise relatively straight, committing to its grim atmosphere and relentless tension. Lynch, by contrast, recognized the inherent absurdity of the premise, inbred cannibal hillbillies hunting reality show contestants, and leaned into it without devolving into parody. The result is a film that walks a delicate tonal tightrope, generating genuine horror while never losing sight of the dark humor at its core. Second, Lynch prioritized practical effects over computer-generated imagery. In an era when CGI was becoming increasingly prevalent in horror films, often to their detriment, Lynch insisted on old-school techniques, prosthetic makeup, animatronic puppets, and practical gore effects. This commitment to tangible horror gives Wrong Turn 2 a visceral quality that many of its contemporaries lack. The kills are messy, physical, and horrifically believable, their impact heightened by their material reality. Third, Lynch brought a music video director's sensibility to the film's visual style. Wrong Turn 2 is a remarkably well-shot film for a direct-to-DVD sequel, with dynamic camera movements, inventive shot compositions, and a color palette that oscillates between the verdant greens of the West Virginia forest and the sickly yellows and browns of the cannibal family's compound. Lynch's visual inventiveness keeps the film engaging even during moments of exposition or character development, his camera always searching for interesting ways to frame the action. Perhaps most importantly, Lynch understood that effective horror requires audiences to care about the characters being threatened. Wrong Turn 2 invests considerable time in establishing its ensemble, giving each contestant distinct personality traits, backgrounds, and motivations. This character work pays dividends when the killing begins, as viewers have formed attachments, or antipathies, that heighten the emotional stakes of each death. 1.3 The screenplay. Meyer Inception's clever construction. Writers Turi Meyer and Al Septien brought considerable genre experience to Wrong Turn 2, having worked on various television and film projects across multiple decades. Their screenplay for the sequel demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of horror structure while incorporating clever subversions of audience expectations. The film's most inspired narrative decision is its reality show framework. By placing its characters within a competitive environment, the screenplay creates natural tensions and conflicts that intensify as the body count rises. The contestants are already competing against one another. The cannibals simply add a more lethal dimension to that competition. This structure allows for commentary on the voyeuristic nature of reality television, the performative aspects of survivalism, and the ways in which media constructs and commodifies human suffering. The script also makes smart choices regarding the cannibal family itself. Rather than simply rehashing the villains of the original film, Meyer and Septien expand the mythology, introducing additional family members, Pa, Ma, brother, sister, and providing background on their origins. The revelation that the family's deformities resulted from environmental contamination, industrial waste dumped in the river by a paper mill, adds a layer of social commentary to the proceedings, suggesting that the cannibals are as much victims of corporate negligence as they are monsters. This environmental angle, while not deeply explored, distinguishes the film from simpler, hillbilly horror narratives. The screenplay also demonstrates a willingness to subvert horror conventions. Characters who seem positioned for survival are dispatched unexpectedly. The film's final confrontation defies expectations regarding who will emerge victorious. The traditional final girl archetype is complicated by the presence of multiple strong female characters. These narrative choices keep audiences off balance, preventing the film from becoming too predictable. Part 2. Character Analysis 2.1 Nina Pappas, the Reluctant Survivor. Erica Leerhsen's Nina Pappas functions as the film's primary protagonist, though she shares screen time and narrative importance with several other characters. A graphic artist by trade, Nina is initially presented as something of an outsider among the reality show contestants. She seems less interested in winning the competition than in simply participating, and her skills, artistic rather than athletic or strategic, don't obviously translate to the survivalist challenges she faces. Leerhsen's performance is one of the film's understated strengths. Nina is neither the hyper-competent action heroine nor the helpless victim awaiting rescue. Instead, she's a resourceful, determined woman whose survival instincts emerge gradually over the course of the narrative. She makes mistakes, experiences genuine fear, and demonstrates a moral complexity that distinguishes her from more one-dimensional horror protagonists. Nina's character arc follows a classic hero's journey structure. Initially uncertain and somewhat passive, she is forced by circumstances to confront her fears and develop new competencies. By the film's climax, she has transformed from a reluctant contestant into a capable survivor, dispatching multiple cannibals with the film's memorable meat grinder climax. This transformation feels earned. Nina's survival is not a matter of luck, but of adaptability and determination. The character also serves as a commentary on the nature of reality television. Nina is not a fame seeker. She seems to have joined the competition for reasons that remain ambiguous, but are clearly not about celebrity or prize money. Her reluctance to embrace the competitive aspects of the show sets her apart from characters like Jake or Jonesy, who view the competition as a means to achieve recognition or success. This distance allows Nina to function as something of an audience surrogate, her perspective aligning more closely with viewers who might view reality television with skepticism or amusement. Leerhsen, who had appeared in films like The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 2003, and Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, 2000, brings considerable genre experience to the role. Her performance is grounded and naturalistic, avoiding the histrionics that sometimes plague horror acting. The physical demands of the role, prolonged running, fighting, and scenes of extreme distress, are handled with professionalism and conviction. 2.2 Colonel Dale Murphy, the survivalist satirized. Henry Rollins' portrayal of Colonel Dale Murphy represents one of the film's most brilliant creative choices. Rollins, best known as the frontman for the punk band Black Flag, and later as a spoken word artist and actor, brings an intensity and physicality to the role that elevates what could have been a stock character into something far more interesting. Dale Murphy is the host of The Apocalypse, ultimate survivalist, a former U.S. Marine colonel whose tough guy persona is as much performance as genuine. He speaks in aphorisms and survivalist platitudes, delivers motivational speeches to the contestants, and projects an image of unwavering competence. Yet as the film progresses, cracks begin to appear in this facade. Dale's survival skills are genuine. He proves himself capable of holding his own against the cannibals, but his self-presentation is revealed as a construction, a media-savvy performance designed to appeal to viewers of the show. Rollins plays this duality brilliantly. His physical presence, imposing, muscular, tattooed, immediately establishes Dale as a figure of authority. Yet there's a hint of absurdity in his performance, a self-awareness that suggests Dale knows he is playing a character. This interpretation aligns perfectly with the film's broader satire of reality television. Dale is a television personality, a creation of the medium he inhabits. His survival skills are real, but his persona is manufactured. The character's arc ultimately takes him from authoritative host to action hero to martyr. Dale's death, killed by Ma and Pa while attempting to save Nina and Jake, is one of the film's more affecting moments. Having spent the narrative projecting confidence and competence, Dale proves his genuine heroism by sacrificing himself for others. It's a fitting end for a character who has been simultaneously celebrated and satirized. Rollins had appeared in several films prior to Wrong Turn 2, including Johnny Mnemonic, 1995, Lost Highway, 1997, and Feast, 2005. His casting was something of a coup for a direct-to-DVD sequel, and he brings considerable gravitas to the proceedings. Rollins has since expressed fondness for the film, noting in interviews that he appreciated the opportunity to play a character who was both competent and ridiculous. 2.3 Amber Williams, challenging archetypes. Daniella Alonso's Amber Williams is perhaps the most complex character in Wrong Turn 2, a figure who both conforms to and subverts horror archetypes. An Iraq War veteran and a lesbian, Amber possesses skills and experiences that make her one of the more capable contestants, yet she is also one of the first to die, falling victim to the cannibals while searching for help. Amber's character represents a fascinating commentary on the final girl trope that has dominated horror cinema since the 1970s. In many slasher films, the final girl is defined by her adherence to traditional values. She is sexually inactive, sober, and generally conventional in her behavior. Amber, by contrast, is sexually active. She attempts to seduce Nina early in the film, experienced in violence as a veteran, and possessed of skills that make her a threat to the killers. By all conventional logic, Amber should be a survivor. Her death, then, functions as a subversion of audience expectations. The film suggests that survival in this environment is not simply a matter of competence or virtue. Luck, timing, and circumstance play equally important roles. Amber's death is sudden, brutal, and largely unceremonious. She is dispatched in a moment of carelessness that no amount of military training could prevent. Alonso's performance captures the character's toughness and vulnerability. Amber is clearly attracted to Nina, and her attempts at connection are both sweet and awkward. The character's backstory, she's a veteran who has already faced violence and death, adds depth to her screen presence, suggesting a woman who has seen horrors that make even the cannibals seem less frightening. 2.4 Jake Washington, the fallen athlete. Texas Battles, Jake Washington represents another subversion of horror conventions. As a former football player, Jake seems physically suited for survival. He is strong, fast, and accustomed to physical confrontation. Yet these attributes prove insufficient when confronted with the cannibals' relentless savagery. Jake's character arc follows a classic trajectory of pride preceding a fall. Initially confident in his abilities, Jake gradually realizes that the skills that made him successful in athletics are not equivalent to genuine survival capabilities. His death, which occurs off-screen, or at least the details are left ambiguous, represents the failure of conventional masculine ideals when confronted with primal horror. Battle brings physical presence and charisma to the role, making Jake likable despite his occasional arrogance. His interactions with Nina suggest a genuine affection that goes beyond simple attraction, adding emotional weight to his eventual demise. The film's treatment of Jake is one of its more empathetic elements. His death is not presented as deserved or inevitable, but as a tragedy. The remaining cast members, while less central to the narrative, contribute significantly to the film's texture and atmosphere. Each character is given enough definition to make their deaths impactful, a testament to Meyer Inception's efficient screenwriting. Elena Garcia, Crystal Lowe, is the sexy contestant, a lingerie model whose presence seems designed to appeal to the show's audience. The film explicitly critiques this objectification. Elena's death, which occurs while she is sunbathing in her underwear, represents the danger of reducing women to their physical appearance. Lowe's performance is appropriately vapid and self-involved, though the character's death is genuinely affecting. Jonesy, Steve Braun, is the skateboarding contestant whose youthful energy and irreverence initially suggest he might survive. His death, like Amber's, is sudden and brutal, demonstrating that the cannibals make no distinctions based on age or vitality. Mara Stone, Alexa Palladino, functions as the show's producer, a character whose desperation to create compelling television blinds her to the real danger surrounding her. Her death, courtesy of a hatchet to the head, is one of the film's more shocking moments, occurring before audiences have fully invested in her character. Michael M. Epstein, Matthew Curry Holmes, is the cinematographer, a character whose dedication to capturing images ultimately leads to his death. His demise, witnessed via monitor by Jake, represents the film's commentary on the dangers of voyeurism and media consumption. Kimberly Caldwell, is the contestant whose death opens the film. Her demise, which involves the literal tearing apart of her body, establishes the film's brutal tone and introduces the audience to the cannibal's capabilities. 2.6 The Cannibal Family, Monsters with Depth. The Cannibal Family, in Wrong Turn 2, represents a significant expansion of the mythology established in the first film. While the original featured 3 cannibal brothers, the sequel introduces a full family unit, complete with parents, children, and an elderly grandfather. Three Finger, Jeff Scruton, is the most recognizable cannibal, reprising his role from the original film. His appearance, deformed, animalistic, and terrifying, makes him the family's most memorable member. Three Finger's survival at the film's conclusion, nursing the mutant baby, suggests the cycle of violence will continue. Pa Ken Kersinger is the family patriarch, a massive, brutal figure whose physical presence makes him a formidable adversary. Kersinger, who had previously played Jason Voorhees in Freddy vs. Jason, 2003, brings considerable experience to the role. Ma, Ashley Earle, is the family matriarch, a deformed figure whose motherhood is both grotesque and oddly sympathetic. The scene of Ma giving birth, which Mara and Nina witness, is one of the film's most disturbing moments, blending horror with genuine pathos. Brother, Clint Carlton, and sister, Rory Teo, represent the next generation of the family, their deformities the result of generations of inbreeding. Their deaths, courtesy of Dale's dynamite-tipped arrow, represent the film's most spectacular kill sequence. Old-timer / Maynard Odette's Wayne Robson functions as the family's patriarch, revealing the origins of their mutations. His exposition, delivered in a moment of apparent exposition before his explosive demise, provides crucial backstory while subverting audience expectations. The cannibal family, despite their monstrous actions, are presented with a degree of complexity unusual for the genre. The film explicitly connects their deformities to environmental contamination, suggesting that they are as much victims as perpetrators. Their family loyalty, while twisted, is genuine. The deaths of brother and sister inspire immediate retribution from Ma and Pa, suggesting a sense of love and connection that complicates their portrayal. Part 3. Thematic Analysis 3.1 Reality Television and the Commodification of Suffering. The most significant thematic thread in Wrong Turn 2, Dead End, is its satirical treatment of reality television. The film, released in 2007, arrived at the height of reality television's cultural dominance. Shows like Survivor, Big Brother, and The Real World had transformed the television landscape, creating a new genre of entertainment built on the spectacle of real people competing, suffering, and occasionally humiliating themselves. The film's critique of reality television operates on multiple levels. Most obviously, the show within the film, The Apocalypse, Ultimate Survivalist, is presented as a cynical exploitation of its contestants. Mara, the producer, is concerned less with the contestants' safety than with creating compelling television. When the cannibals begin killing crew members, Mara's first instinct is to capture the events on camera. Her dedication to good television blinds her to the very real danger surrounding her. The film also critiques the voyeurism inherent in reality television. The cannibals' use of cameras to document their killings mirrors the show's own surveillance of its contestants. Both are engaged in watching others without their consent. The film's climax, in which Jake witnesses M's decapitation on a monitor, suggests that media consumption can be a form of participation in violence. We, the audience of the film, become complicit in this voyeurism, watching the characters suffering for our entertainment. The film's treatment of the contestants also functions as commentary on the ways reality television constructs character. Each contestant is presented as a type: the military veteran, the sexy model, the former athlete, the artist. These types mirror the casting strategies of real reality shows, which often select contestants based on their ability to fulfill specific narrative functions. The film's characterization is intentionally broad, suggesting that reality television reduces people to one-dimensional caricatures. The film's title, The Apocalypse, Ultimate Survivalist, immediately suggests a critique of survivalist culture. The contestants are not genuine survivalists, but competitors in a game, their skills performative rather than practical. The show's challenges, designed to simulate survival scenarios, are artificial constructs, divorced from the genuine threat posed by the cannibals. Dale Murphy, as the show's host, embodies this disconnect between performance and reality. His survivalist rhetoric is compelling, his physical presence impressive, but his actual effectiveness is limited. When faced with genuine danger, Dale's performance becomes reality. He is forced to actually survive rather than merely simulate survival. His transformation from host to warrior is one of the film's more compelling arcs. The cannibals, by contrast, represent authentic survivalism. Their skills are not performed but practiced, honed over generations of hunting humans. They are not playing a game but living a life, their existence defined by the need to survive. This distinction between performed and authentic survival suggests that genuine survival is not about knowledge or preparation, but about experience and adaptation. 3.3 Environmental degradation and its consequences. One of the film's most interesting narrative choices is the revelation that the cannibals' deformities resulted from environmental contamination. According to Oldtimer, the family's mutations were caused by consumption of effluent from an abandoned paper mill, the waste having contaminated the water supply decades earlier. This backstory introduces a layer of social commentary that distinguishes Wrong Turn 2 from simpler horror narratives. The cannibals are not simply monsters, they are victims of corporate negligence, their deformities the result of pollution and environmental degradation. The film suggests that the violence visited upon the contestants is, in some sense, a consequence of human greed and irresponsibility. This environmental theme, while not developed in depth, adds moral complexity to the narrative. The cannibals' actions are not excused. They murder, maim, and consume innocent people, but their origins are presented sympathetically. The film refuses the simple good/evil binary of traditional horror, instead suggesting that characters exist on a spectrum of moral ambiguity. 3.4 Gender and Violence. Wrong Turn 2 engages with questions of gender and violence in ways that both reinforce and subvert horror conventions. The film features multiple capable female characters. Nina, Amber, and Mara all demonstrate intelligence and agency, yet their competence does not necessarily ensure survival. Amber's death, in particular, subverts expectations about the final girl who survives through virtue and intelligence. The film also complicates traditional gender roles in horror. Nina's eventual survival is not a function of her adherence to traditional feminine values, but of her adaptability and determination. Her relationship with Amber, though fleeting, presents a same-sex attraction that is neither sensationalized nor condemned. The film treats Amber's lesbianism with a matter-of-factness that was relatively progressive for a horror film in 2007. Conversely, the cannibal family's dynamics are rooted in traditional gender roles. Pa and Ma function as patriarch and matriarch, their children expected to fulfill designated functions within the family unit. The family's violence is an extension of their social structure, a system in which all members contribute to the collective survival. This traditional family structure, however grotesque, represents a mirror image of conventional American values. 3.5 The nature of horror, why we watch. Perhaps the film's most sophisticated theme is its meditation on why humans are drawn to horror. The reality show within the film is structured around simulated danger. Contestants are placed in threatening situations for the entertainment of viewers. The cannibals' violence, similarly, is presented as a form of entertainment, their killings captured on camera for later consumption. This mice-enabime structure suggests that horror is, at its core, about the pleasure of watching others suffer. The film's audience, us, are implicated in this dynamic, our enjoyment of the violence mirroring the voyeurism of the show's viewers. The film asks uncomfortable questions about why we watch horror, what we derive from it, and whether our consumption of fictional violence reflects something troubling about human nature. Part 4. Cinematic Techniques. 4.1 Visual Style and Cinematography. Director Joe Lynch and cinematographer Robin Lowen employ a visual style that distinguishes Wrong Turn 2 from its contemporaries. The film's aesthetic is characterized by dynamic camera movement, unusual angles, and a commitment to visual storytelling that elevates the material. The film's opening sequence, which introduces Kimberly's death, establishes the visual language that will define the rest of the film. The camera is restless, never settling on a single composition for too long. This approach creates a sense of unease, suggesting that the characters are never safe, never able to find stability. Lynch's music video background is evident in the sequence's rhythmic editing and attention to visual impact. The contrast between the natural beauty of the forest and the ugliness of the violence is emphasized throughout the film. Cinematographer Lowen captures the West Virginia landscape in all its splendor, the verdant greens and warm sunlight creating an atmosphere of pastoral tranquility. The violence that erupts within this beautiful setting feels particularly jarring, the natural world rendered alien by the introduction of the supernatural. The cannibal family's compound is presented in stark contrast to the forest. Where the forest is open and bright, the compound is cramped and dark, its interior is defined by sickly yellows and browns. The production design emphasizes decay and neglect. Walls are stained, surfaces are cluttered, and everything appears worn by time and use. This visual distinction between natural and constructed environments reinforces the film's theme of corruption, suggesting that human intervention has poisoned the landscape. Lynch also employs color grading to distinguish between different types of scenes. The reality show segments are presented in saturated colors, their bright palette suggesting the artificiality of the competition. The horror scenes, by contrast, are graded to emphasize earth tones and shadows, their visual language aligned with traditional horror aesthetics. This distinction between the artificial and the authentic reinforces the film's critique of reality television. 4.2 Sound and music. Bear McCreary's score for Wrong Turn 2 represents a significant contribution to the film's atmosphere. McCreary, who had previously composed for television series like Battlestar Galactica and the Sarah Connor Chronicles, brings a sophistication to the film's music that exceeds expectations for a direct-to-DVD horror sequel. The score combines traditional orchestral elements with more experimental sounds. Strings and brass dominate the dramatic sequences, their melodies emphasizing the film's emotional beats. Percussion is used to punctuate moments of violence, creating a sense of impact that amplifies the physicality of the kills. Electronic elements are incorporated to suggest the cannibals' inhumanity, their distorted sounds representing a form of sonic deformation. The main theme, main title, establishes the film's musical vocabulary. Its minor key melody and driving rhythm create a sense of forward momentum, the music always pushing toward the next moment of violence. This theme recurs throughout the film, its variations signaling shifts in tone and intensity. McCreary also incorporates the film's use of the reality show theme song, Ultimate Survivalist theme song by Captain Ahab, as a commentary on the artificiality of the competition. The song, with its martial rhythms and bombastic lyrics, represents the show's performative survivalism. Its presence within the film serves as a reminder that the characters are participating in a constructed narrative, their survival, as much about entertainment as about genuine threat. The sound design, supervised by Steve Bain, is equally effective. The cannibals' vocalizations, grunts, growls, and inarticulate shrieks are particularly well realized, their inhumanity suggested through sonic distortion. The violence is accompanied by wet, organic sounds that emphasize the physicality of the injuries being inflicted. The film's auditory landscape is as immersive as its visual one, creating a sensory experience that is both disorienting and engaging. 4.3 Practical effects. The art of physical horror. Wrong Turn 2 represents a commitment to practical effects that sets it apart from CGI-heavy horror films of the era. The film's gore effects, supervised by B.J. McDonnell and his team, are rendered through prosthetics, animatronics, and creative physical filmmaking rather than digital manipulation. This commitment to practical effects pays dividends in the film's kill sequences. The violence has a physical weight that digital effects often lack. The audience can see the materials, latex, silicone, corn syrup, interacting with the actors, creating a sense of reality that digital effects struggle to replicate. The film's most memorable kills, including the opening bisection and the climactic meat grinder sequence, derive their power from their material reality. The cannibals' makeup, designed by Alan L. M. Chow and Rob Gillis, is similarly impressive. Their deformities are rendered through prosthetic applications that allow for full facial movement and expression. The makeup suggests genetic corruption without becoming cartoonish, the deformities varying in severity from character to character. 3 fingers missing digits, Pa's facial disfigurement, Ma's skeletal appearance. Each cannibal's appearance tells a story of degradation and decline. The production team also made creative use of found locations and practical sets. The paper mill, where the film's climax takes place, is a genuine industrial building whose decay and dilapidation reinforce the theme of environmental degradation. The cannibal family's compound, built on a soundstage, combines elements of rural poverty and domestic horror. Its mismatched furniture and accumulated detritus suggesting a family that has lived in isolation for generations. Part 5. The film's place in horror history 5.1 releasing in a changing landscape. Wrong Turn 2, Dead End, was released in 2007, a year that proved pivotal for horror cinema. The late 2000s saw the emergence of what would later be called elevated horror, with films like The Orphanage, 2007, and The Mist, 2007. While the torture porn subgenre, represented by Saw and Hostel, was reaching its peak popularity, horror was in a state of flux, with traditional slasher tropes being challenged and reconfigured by new approaches. Wrong Turn 2 emerged from this landscape as something of an anomaly. It was neither especially elevated nor particularly grim. Its violence was graphic but not sadistic, its themes present but not overwhelming. The film's commitment to practical effects and traditional horror structure seemed almost retrograde, a throwback to the slasher films of the 1980s. Yet this apparent conservatism was itself a form of subversion. The film's self-awareness and satirical edge distinguished it from the more earnest horror films of its era. The film's direct-to-DVD release, while financially motivated, ultimately proved advantageous. Freed from the constraints of theatrical exhibition, the filmmakers were able to include unrated content that would have been difficult to release in cinemas. The film's violence is more graphic than many theatrical horror films of the era, its gore effects allowed to linger on screen for maximum impact. This unrated release, combined with positive critical reception, helped establish Wrong Turn 2 as a cult classic, its audience growing through word of mouth and home video distribution. Wrong Turn 2 Inch earned a 70% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes based on 10 reviews, making it the best reviewed film in the franchise. While this sample size is small, the film's critical reception was notably positive, with reviewers praising its energy, humor, and commitment to practical effects. Steve Barton of Dread Central gave the film 4 out of 5 stars, calling it a hot ticket for some gore-soaked backwoods mayhem that gets even better with repeated viewings and lots of booze. Barton's review, typical of the film's reception, emphasized its entertainment value rather than its artistic merit. The film was recognized as a successful example of its genre, delivering what horror audiences wanted. Brian Collins of Bloody Disgusting described the film as one of the year's better genre offerings, praising its combination of humor and horror. Collins noted that what could have been a cheap and lazy cash-in turned out to be one of the year's better genre offerings, suggesting that the film had exceeded expectations. Fangoria's Michael Gingold wrote that Lynch directed the film, with all the energy of a longtime hardcore horror fan getting the chance to let it all hang out in his debut feature. This observation, echoed in many reviews, identified Lynch's genuine affection for the genre as a key factor in the film's success. At the Gerardmer Film Festival, the film won the Best Direct-to-Video Film Award, recognition from a prestigious horror festival that validated the film's quality. This award, combined with a positive critical reception, helped establish the film as more than just another direct-to-DVD sequel. 5.3 home video success. Wrong Turn 2 was commercially successful, grossing $9.2 million in home video sales. This figure, while modest compared to theatrical blockbusters, represents significant success for a direct-to-DVD release. The film's financial performance ensured that the franchise would continue, with Wrong Turn 3, Left 4 Dead, following in 2009. The home video release included multiple special features that added value for horror fans. Director Joe Lynch and actors Leerhsen and Henry Rollins provided a commentary track that offered insight into the film's production. A second commentary, featuring writers Turi Meyer and Al Septien, explored the screenplay's development. A making-of featurette provided behind-the-scenes footage, while the theatrical trailer offered a glimpse of the film's original marketing. The Blu-ray release, which followed in 2009, offered improved picture quality that showcased the film's cinematography and visual effects. The film's availability on various home video formats ensured its continued circulation among horror fans, its audience growing as word-of-mouth spread. 5.4 The franchise continues, Wrong Turn 3 and beyond. Wrong Turn 2 was followed by Wrong Turn 3, Left for Dead in 2009, a film that abandoned the sequel's self-aware humor in favor of a more straightforward survival narrative. Directed by Declan O'Brien, the third installment was less well-received than its predecessor, its lack of imagination and commitment to genre conventions contributing to a perception of franchise decline. The franchise continued through 4 more sequels: Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings, 2011, Wrong Turn 5, Bloodlines, 2012, Wrong Turn 6, Last Resort, 2014, and a 2021 reboot simply titled Wrong Turn. None of these subsequent entries matched the critical success of Wrong Turn 2, their quality varying widely and their ability to meaningfully extend the franchise's mythology increasingly limited. The 2021 reboot, directed by Mike P. Nelson and written by Alan B. McElroy, who wrote the original film, represents an attempt to reimagine the franchise for contemporary audiences. The film abandons the inbred cannibal premise in favor of a more complex narrative involving a survivalist community in the West Virginia mountains. This reboot, while praised for its ambition and execution, is a significant departure from the franchise's established formula. Wrong Turn 2 thus stands as the franchise's creative peak, a film that successfully balanced humor, horror, and social commentary while remaining faithful to the series' core conceit. Its legacy within the franchise is secure, as subsequent entries have been unable to recapture its particular alchemy. The film opens with a sequence that immediately establishes the cannibals' brutality. Kimberly, a contestant on The Apocalypse, Ultimate Survivalist, is driving through the West Virginia backcountry when she accidentally hits a teenager. She stops to help him, but he bites her lips off, revealing himself as one of the cannibals. Kimberly flees, but runs into Three Finger, who violently splits her in half with his axe. This opening sequence accomplishes several narrative objectives. First, it establishes the cannibals' inhumanity. They are not simply killers, but monsters who take pleasure in their victims' suffering. Second, it demonstrates the film's commitment to practical effects and graphic violence. The bisection is rendered through prosthetics and creative filmmaking, its physicality immediately distinguishing the film from more restrained horror entries. Third, it introduces Three Finger as a particularly dangerous antagonist, his appearance and method of killing defining his character. The sequence also establishes the film's tonal balance. The violence is extreme, but it is also presented with a degree of dark humor. Kimberly's death is so over the top that it teeters on the edge of absurdity, the film winking at the audience even as it delivers genuine horror. This balance between comedy and terror will define the film's approach throughout. 6.2 Introduction of Characters. The reality show ensemble. Following Kimberly's death, the film introduces its primary ensemble. The contestants gather at the show's starting point, each introduced through a combination of dialogue and visual cues. Jake is competitive and confident. Jonesy is young and irreverent. Elena is glamorous and self-involved. Amber is capable and direct. Nina is uncertain and introspective. Dale Murphy delivers his introductory monologue, his survivalist rhetoric establishing the show's tone. The contestants are informed of the rules, their tasks, and the stakes of the competition. This exposition, while necessary, is delivered with enough style to avoid becoming tedious. The film's production design and costuming reinforce character distinctions, each contestant dressed to emphasize their role within the show's narrative. The introduction of Mara, the producer, establishes the show's cynical nature. She is more concerned with producing compelling content than with the contestants' safety, her priorities reflecting the priorities of real reality television. This character will serve as a foil to the contestants, her perspective highlighting the gap between performance and genuine survival. 6.3 The Cannibal Family's Introduction. As the competition begins, the film cuts to the cannibal family's compound. The audience is given a glimpse of their domestic existence, The family is shown performing everyday tasks, their routine contrasting with the horror they will soon unleash. The birth scene is particularly significant. Mara and Nina, having entered the cabin in search of a telephone, witness Ma giving birth to a deformed baby. This moment combines horror and pathos, the grotesque nature of the birth overshadowed by the maternal tenderness the family demonstrates. The audience is forced to confront the family's humanity, even as their inhumanity is established. The escape sequence that follows is the film's first extended action set piece. Mara and Nina flee the cabin, sister in pursuit. Mara's death, a hatchet to the head, demonstrates the cannibal's efficiency, while Nina's escape establishes her as a capable survivor. The sequence is choreographed with energy and precision, Lynch's direction maintaining tension throughout. 6.4 Elena's death, the perils of objectification. Elena's death sequence is among the film's most memorable. After having sex with M, Elena remains by the lake, sunbathing in her underwear. Sister emerges from the water and slashes her to death with a machete. This sequence's significance lies in its commentary on objectification. Elena, the sexy contestant, is reduced to her physical appearance by the show, by her fellow contestants, by the film itself. Her death, occurring while she is in a state of partial undress, suggests that her sexuality has made her vulnerable. The film does not moralize about Elena's choices. She is not punished for her sexuality, but it does suggest that her focus on appearance has left her unprepared for genuine danger. The sequence also establishes Sister as a unique threat. Unlike the other cannibals, who tend to rely on brute force, Sister is more stealthy and cunning. Her emergence from the water is unexpected, her attack swift and efficient. This characterization adds variety to the cannibal family, each member possessing distinct skills and methods. 6.5 Dale's confrontation with Three Finger. Dale's escape from captivity and confrontation with Three Finger represents a turning point in the narrative. Having been abducted by the cannibals, Dale demonstrates his survival skills by breaking free and engaging Three Finger in combat. The fight sequence is physically brutal, Rollins and Scruton performing their own stunts. The choreography emphasizes Dale's military training. He is efficient and strategic, using the environment to his advantage. Three Finger, by contrast, relies on brute strength and animalistic aggression. The contrast between the two combatants reinforces the film's thematic distinction between performed and authentic survival. Dale's victory, achieved by shooting Three Finger into the lake, represents a moment of triumph. Yet this victory is short-lived. The film's final scene reveals that Three Finger has survived, nursing the mutant baby and continuing the cycle of violence. This ending suggests that the cannibal threat cannot be eliminated, that the corruption that created them will persist. 6.6 The cannibal family's origins revealed. Dale's exploration of the cannibal family's compound leads to a confrontation with Old Timer, who reveals the family's backstory. The cannibal's deformities resulted from consumption of contaminated water, effluent from a nearby paper mill that had poisoned the river for generations. This exposition sequence is significant for several reasons. First, it establishes the family as victims of environmental degradation, adding moral complexity to their portrayal. Second, it introduces a social commentary that distinguishes the film from simpler horror narratives. Third, it provides the audience with crucial information that will inform their understanding of the family's actions. Old Timer's death, blown up with a stick of dynamite, represents one of the film's more spectacular kills. The sequence is presented with dark humor, Old Timer's monologue interrupted by his explosive demise. This tonal shift, from exposition to action, maintains the film's energy and prevents the backstory from becoming tedious. 6.7 The meat grinder climax. The film's climax, set in the paper mill, features a series of confrontations that resolve the narrative's central conflicts. Dale sacrifices himself to save Nina and Jake, proving his heroism despite the film's earlier satire of his character. Nina escapes the cannibals, demonstrating her resourcefulness and determination. Jake is attacked by Ma and Pa, his fate left ambiguous. The meat grinder sequence is the film's most memorable set piece. Nina, having managed to escape her captors, uses the grinder to dispatch Ma and Pa. The sequence is both horrifying and cathartic, the cannibals' deaths providing a release of tension built throughout the film. The sequence's visual style emphasizes chaos and desperation. The editing is rapid, the camera following the action with a handheld immediacy. The lighting is dim, emphasizing the industrial decay of the location. The sound design emphasizes the grind of the machinery and the screams of the dying. 6.8 Final scene. The cycle continues. The film's final scene reveals that Three Finger has survived. He emerges from the water, baby in hand, and begins to nurse it with a bottle filled with contaminated water and a human finger. This ending is ambiguous. It suggests the cycle of violence will continue, that the cannibal threat cannot be eliminated. The family's legacy will persist, a new generation ready to continue its predatory existence. This ending is both satisfying and unsettling. It provides closure while leaving open the possibility of further sequels. The image of Three Finger nursing the mutant baby is grotesque, yet oddly tender, reinforcing the film's complicated treatment of the cannibal family. The audience is left to contemplate the cycle of violence, the environmental degradation that created the cannibals, and the possibility that the family's corruption can never be fully eradicated. Part 7. Performance Analysis 7.1 Henry Rollins, the unlikely action hero. Henry Rollins' performance as Dale Murphy represents one of the film's greatest assets. Rollins, known primarily for his music and spoken word work, brings an intensity and physicality to the role that establishes Dale as a figure of genuine authority. Rollins' physical presence is immediately imposing. His muscular build, numerous tattoos, and weathered face suggest a life of physical labor and adventure. This appearance aligns with the character's backstory as a former Marine. Dale looks like someone who has survived difficult circumstances. Yet Rollins' performance goes beyond physical presence. He captures the character's performative aspect, his commitment to the survivalist persona, suggesting a man who has crafted an identity as much as lived it. Rollins' line deliveries are carefully modulated, his motivational speeches alternating between genuine conviction and self-aware parody. Rollins has spoken in interviews about his approach to the character, noting that he appreciated the opportunity to play someone who was both competent and ridiculous. His performance suggests that Dale is aware of his own absurdity, that he recognizes the gap between his persona and his genuine capabilities. This self-awareness makes the character more complex than a simple parody would be. 7.2 Erica Leerhsen, the grounded survivor. Erica Leerhsen's performance as Nina Pappas provides the film's emotional center. Leerhsen brings a naturalistic quality to the role that distinguishes her from the more performative contestants. Nina feels like a real person, uncertain, frightened, determined, rather than a character constructed to fulfill a narrative function. Leerhsen's physical performance is particularly impressive. The character's action sequences are demanding, requiring extended running, fighting, and scenes of extreme distress. Leerhsen performs these sequences with conviction, her physicality suggesting genuine exhaustion and desperation. The character's transformation from uncertain contestant to capable survivor is rendered through performance as much as through narrative. Leerhsen also captures Nina's emotional complexity. The character experiences a range of emotions over the course of the film: fear, anger, determination, grief, and Leerhsen renders each convincingly. The character's reaction to Amber's death, in particular, suggests genuine loss, her grief adding emotional weight to the violence. 7.3 Supporting Performances. Ensemble Excellence. The supporting cast contributes significantly to the film's success, each performer bringing distinctive qualities to their roles. Texas Battle's Jake Washington is physically imposing and emotionally accessible. Battle captures the character's confidence and vulnerability, his performance making Jake's eventual death genuinely affecting. The character's relationship with Nina is rendered with subtlety, Battle suggesting attraction and affection without becoming melodramatic. Daniella Alonso's Amber Williams is tough and direct, her military background evident in her physicality and line delivery. Alonso captures the character's confidence and competence, making her death particularly shocking. The character's lesbianism is presented matter-of-factly, Alonso's performance never sensationalizing the character's sexuality. Crystal Lowe's Elena Garcia is appropriately vapid and self-involved, her performance suggesting a character who has never confronted genuine danger. Lowe captures the character's superficiality without making her unsympathetic, her death rendered affecting despite her limited development. Steve Braun's Jonesy brings youthful energy to the proceedings, his irreverent performance providing comic relief. Braun captures the character's immaturity and vulnerability, his death serving as a reminder that youth and energy cannot protect against the cannibals. Alexa Palladino's Mara Stone is the cynical producer, her performance suggesting a character whose dedication to her work has blinded her to genuine danger. Palladino captures the character's single-mindedness, her death serving as a critique of reality television's exploitative nature. Matthew Curry Holmes's M is the dedicated cinematographer, his performance suggesting a character consumed by his work. Holmes captures the character's commitment to capturing images, his death a commentary on the dangers of voyeurism. 7.4 The Cannibal Performers, creating monsters. The performers who portray the cannibal family face a unique challenge. They must create characters who are simultaneously monstrous and human. Each performer approaches this challenge differently. Jeff Scruton's Three Finger is the film's most recognizable cannibal. Scruton's physical performance emphasizes animalistic aggression, his movements suggesting a predator stalking prey. The character's limited dialogue is delivered in grunts and shrieks, his inhumanity established through vocalization as much as appearance. Ken Kersinger's paw is physically imposing, the character's massive frame suggesting the brute force he brings to bear. Kersinger, who played Jason Voorhees in Freddy vs. Jason, brings considerable genre experience to the role. His performance captures the character's authority, Hawk clearly the family's patriarch. Ashley Earle's Ma is simultaneously grotesque and sympathetic. Earle captures the character's maternal aspects, her performance suggesting a mother committed to her family's survival. This commitment, however twisted, gives the character depth that transcends simple monstrosity. Rory Teo's sister is stealthy and cunning. Teo's performance emphasizes the character's physicality, her movements suggesting a predator capable of hiding and striking. The character's relationship with her family is suggested rather than explicit, her loyalty to her parents reinforcing the family dynamic. Wayne Robson's Old-Timer provides crucial exposition while remaining an active participant in the violence. Robson's performance captures the character's weariness and bitterness, his history suggesting a life defined by hardship and violence. The character's death is both shocking and fitting, his monologue cut short by his explosive demise. Part 8. Production design and locations. 8.1 The West Virginia setting. Wrong Turn 2 was filmed primarily in British Columbia, Canada, which serves as a visual stand-in for West Virginia. The film's location choices emphasize the beauty and isolation of the Appalachian landscape, the forest serving as both sanctuary and prison for the characters. The exterior locations are characterized by dense foliage, rugged terrain, and natural waterways. These environments are both beautiful and threatening, their isolation preventing the characters from escaping the cannibals' territory. The film's cinematography captures the landscape's majesty, emphasizing its role as an active participant in the narrative. The contrast between the natural beauty of the forest and the corruption of the cannibals' compound is emphasized throughout the film. The compound, located deep within the forest, is presented as a parasite feeding on the natural world. Its decay and neglect represent the corruption that has spread from the environment to the family itself. 8.2 The reality show set. The reality show's starting point and challenges are presented through production design that emphasizes artificiality. The obstacles and tasks, while physically demanding, are clearly constructed, their design suggesting a television production rather than genuine survival challenges. The cameras and monitors that populate the production's set serve as commentary on reality television. The characters are always being watched, their actions recorded for later consumption. This surveillance creates a sense of paranoia, the characters aware that their suffering might be broadcast to millions. The production design also emphasizes the reality show's exploitation of its contestants. The challenges are designed to generate dramatic content, their construction suggesting a disregard for the contestants' well-being. This exploitation mirrors the exploitation of real reality television, the film suggesting that the violence of media is itself a form of danger. 8.3 The Cannibal Compound. The cannibal family's compound, built on a soundstage, combines elements of rural poverty and domestic horror. Its interior is cluttered and dark, the accumulated detritus of generations suggesting a family that has never left its home. The compound's design emphasizes decay and neglect. Walls are stained, furniture is broken, and surfaces are covered with the detritus of daily life. This aesthetic suggests a family that has abandoned societal norms, their isolation allowing their existence to deteriorate. The compound also contains evidence of the family's violence. Human remains are scattered throughout the space, their presence suggesting a history of predation that extends far beyond the film's events. These remains serve as a reminder of the family's nature, their existence a threat to the character's survival. The production design also emphasizes the family's domesticity. Despite their monstrous nature, the family engages in everyday activities, cooking, cleaning, caring for children. This contrast between domestic comfort and horrifying violence reinforces the film's complex treatment of the cannibals. 8.4 The Paper Mill. The Paper Mill, where the film's climax takes place, is a genuine industrial location whose decay reinforces the theme of environmental degradation. The mill, abandoned and rotting, represents the source of the cannibals' corruption, its waste having poisoned the water supply for generations. The mill's design emphasizes its industrial nature. Machinery dominates the space, its purpose unclear but its function suggesting production and consumption. The meat grinder, which serves as the instrument of the cannibals' demise, represents the ultimate inversion of the mill's purpose. Rather than producing food, it destroys. The mill's structure is deliberately confusing, its multiple levels and interconnected spaces suggesting a maze from which the characters cannot easily escape. This design creates tension during the climactic sequence. The characters forced to navigate a space that is both familiar and alien. Bear McCreary's score for Wrong Turn 2 represents a significant creative contribution to the film. McCreary, who would later become known for his work on Battlestar Galactica, The Walking Dead, and God of War, brings a sophistication to the film's music that exceeds expectations for a direct-to-DVD horror sequel. The score's opening track, Main Title, establishes the film's musical vocabulary. Its minor key melody, driven rhythm, and strategic use of percussion create a sense of forward momentum, the music suggesting that the characters are always moving toward danger. The melody's mournful quality also hints at the film's tragic elements, the characters' fates predetermined by their environment and circumstances. McCreary uses distinct musical motifs for different characters and situations. The cannibals are associated with dissonant, jarring sounds, distorted strings, metallic percussion, and electronic effects that suggest their inhumanity. The contestants are associated with more traditional orchestral sounds, their motifs emphasizing their humanity and vulnerability. This musical distinction reinforces the film's thematic contrast between human and monster. The score also incorporates diegetic music, particularly the reality show's theme song. Ultimate Survivalist theme song by Captain Ahab, with its martial rhythms and bombastic lyrics, represents the show's performative survivalism. Its presence within the film serves as a reminder that the characters are participating in a constructed narrative, their survival, as much about entertainment as about genuine threat. 9.2 The Soundtrack Album. The soundtrack album, released on September 18, 2007, by La La Land Records, collects McCreary's score alongside additional tracks by Captain Ahab. The album's 16 tracks represent a comprehensive collection of the film's music, the score's presentation allowing for appreciation of McCreary's compositional techniques. The album's structure mirrors the film's narrative. Main Title establishes the musical themes. Dale for Dinner and Birth of Baby Splooge accompany key plot points. Nina's theme and Dale Vigilante emphasize character moments. The Meat Grinder and Baby Splooge lives accompany the film's climax and resolution. This structural organization allows listeners to trace the film's emotional journey through its music. The soundtrack's liner notes, which provide context for McCreary's approach, suggest the composer's engagement with the film's themes. McCreary notes his use of traditional orchestral elements and electronic effects, his desire to create a score that was both classical and contemporary. This engagement with the material elevated the score beyond standard horror music, its complexity suggesting a composer who took the film seriously. 9.3 The role of sound in creating horror. The sound design, supervised by Steve Bain, is equally important to the film's atmosphere. The cannibals' vocalizations, grunts, growls, and inarticulate shrieks are particularly well realized, their inhumanity suggested through sonic distortion. These sounds are not merely frightening, they are alien, suggesting creatures that have evolved beyond human communication. The violence is accompanied by wet, organic sounds that emphasize the physicality of the injuries being inflicted. The bisection that opens the film is particularly effective, the sound of flesh and bone separating suggesting a level of detail that the visuals alone could not achieve. The meat grinders grinding and the characters' screams during the climax are similarly impactful, the combination of audio and visual cues creating a sensory experience that is both disturbing and engaging. The film's use of silence is equally effective. Quiet moments, when the music and sound effects recede, create anticipation, the audience aware that the violence will soon resume. These moments of relative calm allow the characters and the audience to process the horror that has occurred, their respite emphasizing the trauma they have experienced. Part 10. The film's legacy 10.1 impact on the Wrong Turn franchise. Wrong Turn 2. Dead End remains the best-reviewed film in the Wrong Turn franchise, its critical and commercial success establishing a template that subsequent entries would struggle to match. The film's combination of horror, humor, and social commentary distinguished it from its predecessors and successors, its particular alchemy proving difficult to replicate. The film's success also established the franchise's viability, ensuring that additional entries would be produced. The Wrong Turn franchise would continue through 6 more films, each attempting to capture the magic of the second installment. None would succeed, their quality varying widely, and their ability to meaningfully extend the franchise's mythology increasingly limited. 10.2 Joe Lynch's career. Wrong Turn 2 served as a launching pad for Joe Lynch's career as a director. Lynch would go on to direct Knights of Battiston, 2013, Everly, 2014, and Mayhem, 2017. Films that share the sequel's energy, self-awareness, and commitment to practical effects. Lynch's career, while not as prominent as some of his contemporaries, has been distinguished by his passion for the genre and his ability to work within constraints. Lynch has spoken in interviews about his affection for Wrong Turn 2, noting that the film remains a source of pride and fond memories. He has expressed appreciation for the film's cult following, noting that its positive reception exceeded expectations. The film's success established Lynch as a director capable of elevating genre material, his subsequent projects benefiting from the credibility the film provided. 10.3 Cult following and home video legacy. Wrong Turn 2 has developed a significant cult following since its release, its appreciation growing through home video circulation and word-of-mouth recommendation. The film's unrated release, positive critical reception, and memorable kills have made it a favorite among horror fans, its reputation as one of the best direct-to-DVD horror films of the 2000s secured. The film's presence on streaming platforms and its continued availability on physical media have ensured its ongoing circulation. Horror fans continue to discover and appreciate the film, its reputation among genre enthusiasts ensuring its legacy as a significant work in early 21st century horror cinema. Wrong Turn 2-inch has influenced later horror films, particularly those that blend horror with humor and social commentary. The film's satirical treatment of reality television anticipated later works like The Cabin in the Woods, 2012, and Ready or Not, 2019. Films that similarly explore the relationship between media, violence, and audience expectation. The film's commitment to practical effects has also influenced later horror films, particularly those released during the 2010s resurgence of practical horror. Films like Evil Dead, 2013, The Void, 2016, and Color Out of Space, 2019, share Wrong Turn 2's commitment to physical effects, their gore rendered through prosthetics and creative filmmaking rather than digital manipulation. The film's treatment of its cannibal family, simultaneously monstrous and sympathetic, has also influenced later horror. Films like The Hills Have Eyes, 2006, and The Last House on the Left, 2009, share the sequel's complex characterization, their antagonists presented as victims of circumstance as much as monsters.